Yeah, I think.
What's going on, Fliteboard enthusiasts out there? Today I'm making a review on the regular remote and the Marc Newson remote for Fliteboard. I'm sorry about the weather, but it is what it is. I'm actually in Martin's Vineyard right now, and I couldn't be here if it was for my good friends and clients, the family at Rapo. I'm spending the weekends with them on the 4th of July. So, we're gonna talk about the remote controls. There is not much to show about being water with the controller other than the control itself. So I just want to show you how it looks like on the clear air, on the clear day. So you can take an idea, the visual of the controller and the colors. But basically, I'm gonna go back to shore right now and talk about both controllers, all right? Stick around.
Let's talk about this, but first of all, let me apologize about the noise. I didn't bring my microphone, so you're gonna hear all the surrounding noise and so forth. Start with the price. The Marc Newson controller starts up at $1,080. The Flite controller starts at $429. But let me show you close up first so you can see the difference, especially in ergonomics. Let's talk first about ergonomics. At first glance, you think they look like the same, but actually they're not. For the fact that I'm so used to this, it feels leaner, and it gets a better shape in my hand. But once again, I've been using this forever. And the Marc Newson, it feels a little bit thicker, although the trigger sensation is the same. Now, for the fact that I'm so used to use this, at first, then everybody's gonna have a little different ride feeling, and I like to ride depending on hand size. If I go like this, see my finger has to bend too much over here. So for me to ride on this, I can actually I'd rather do this, hold it this way, because that way just bring the perfect distance so I can toggle. If I go like this, my hand's too close, see my thumb's over there, I have to bend my thumb and come back. For me at least, I'm very comfortable riding the older controller by holding like this finger on the trigger, and look at that, my thumb now is perfect where it goes. Okay, and I'm so used to this. It was very comfortable. At first, I have problem with this because I'm so used to that grip that at first with this it was the same thing. I couldn't get this over. It's a little bit thicker, and I thought this was harder, but it's actually the same distance. I feel very comfortable on this controller to have a normal grip, and my thumb goes right there. Okay, so ergonomics speaking, they similar, but you just take time for it to adapt. This is going to be slightly thicker, and if I go like this too, like I like to ride this one, it feels the same way. So, but at first I thought I was going to have problems with this, but I actually don't mind. Also, this, I don't have a scale over here, but this feels slightly heavier. Nothing that's going to throw you off, but it does feel slightly heavier, not that much. And once again, ergonomically speaking, of course, if you're used to this, it's just gonna take 2 batteries, and by my second battery riding this, I'm used to it already, and actually like the way it feels in your hand. However, one thing to note, some people complain, says that this button is too small, And I don't find to be small because after you get used to it, you know exactly what it is. When you slide your hand on this, sometimes you don't know where you are. If you're on the middle, on the plus, on the minus. And over here you have distinguished sensation that you know exactly which button you have. The plus, the mode, and the minus. So by just doing this, exactly you know what it is. And at first, I thought that this button was harder. It definitely feels harder to press. But with time, again, that goes away. That's your first impression. Once you get it, especially being riding this for 4 years, once I got into this, I definitely felt a little difference in terms of the ergonomics. But as I said, within 2 rides, you're gonna be familiar with both of them, and this won't be a problem anymore. Let's talk about the function now. Same exactly thing. Press and hold, you turn on the controller, and press and hold, and you turn on the controller. Now, visually speaking, there's no doubt that the Marc Newson, it's a much cooler controller to look at it, and there's so many things that you can see that's so much. I don't know. It's cooler just to watch the whole thing. I'm not gonna get into details about the wavy mode because I don't get to surf that much. But let me get into this. Basically, the functions are the same, and if you toggle mode, it's gonna show you exactly the same thing. Of course, different looks. All right, but here's where they differ a little bit. All right. Now, especially for the fact that I'm used to this so much. I like for the fact, you know, that, well, of course not working right now, but you know, on this, on the old controller, you get to ride. I can't do that right now because it's not running, of course. You get to see the Fliteboard, the board battery, and you can also see speed and so forth. So you see the speed over here, you see the gear over here, and you also get to see the battery. That's the only thing I don't like about this. It's exactly the same thing. You see how fast you're going, you see your speed, you see what gear you're in. However, it does not show the battery on the Fliteboard. So that's the only thing I have to complain about, that you have to switch for the next so you can see the percentage on the battery on the Fliteboard. That's the only thing that really bugs me. Now, other than that, of course the mode, they have a surfing mode over here. I didn't get to use that because I don't know how to do it yet. It shows the length of the wave, and it's right there. Your best wave, and also there's a time over here telling you how long you rode that you're reading that wave for. Now that's pretty cool because let's say you're reading that wave for 1 minute, okay, and it's gonna memorize that timing. So whenever you ride another wave again, it's gonna count, it's gonna beep, and it's gonna tell you, not gonna beep, but it's gonna vibrate and gonna tell you that you broke a record. So there's a clock always going here on this controller, which the difference is when you turn both of them off, that clock is still, that memory is still running over here. So the battery on this is gonna be virtually the same, but keep in mind that most likely you wanna check your battery before you go riding, especially if you're going for a long period without riding. Now, one thing that I also like about this over here, so the cool thing about this is that you see the battery going, how much battery you have left. On this, you have to switch to see where the battery goes, how much battery remain you have. But the best thing about this controller is that when you're going over here, you hear you don't feel the big vibration. Over here, you feel a bigger vibration when you're switching gears. You know, you definitely feel once you press it, it vibrates a little more. At least it feels that it vibrates more than this one. So, pros and cons for each one, you know. I mean, $1,000 controller, $400 controller. What is the best suited for you? Let's talk about that right now. But as I said, they're virtually the same. It just takes a little to get used to the ergonomics. But once you get used to the ergonomics, they are the same. And once again, the plus thing about this is definitely much brighter. And I feel the vibration there better. The plus thing about this is that it shows the battery, battery remaining on the Fliteboard. Okay, let's talk about price. Finally, let's talk about price and who the controller is for and so forth. Which one is better, pros and cons. Once again, for each of their own. you're gonna get used to the ergonomics. They're both the same. They feel good the same way, no matter what. I like the vibration. This seems to be a little bit louder, but I like to see the battery, as I mentioned over here before, how much battery I have left. And for this, I have to switch, which is no big deal. Now, as I said, there's great function on this about the surfing. So it boils down to that. Both great controllers. And one thing, I've been using this exact controller here for 4 years. This thing is bulletproof. I rolled my car on top of it once. It didn't break. I dropped it. This thing is just basically proving what it is. For 4 years, the same controller, never broke. I don't know this yet because I just got it. So definitely resistant and never had a problem with it. So only years gonna tell me about this. However, let's boil it down to the price. You know, $1,000 roughly and $400 roughly. And here's the deal: if you are a surfer, if you are into wake surfing, if you are into surfing itself, absolutely, by having this little gadget where you can see your waves and so forth, it's amazing. That's unbelievable to have that in the tip of your fingers. And of course, you can't see that over here. So if you're a surfer, is it worth to pay the extra money? Yes, because that's what you're into, that's what you're doing most of your ride. Absolutely, it's worth paying the money. And I'm sure like every product that Fliteboard makes is resilient. Now, if you're not a surfer, if you're just on a lake and riding flat waves, I don't see the point of spending the extra money. You could definitely stick with this. It's been proven it does what it's supposed to do. So it boils down, but one thing too, there's a cool fact on this, it's pretty cool, the visual. But so if you don't care about surfing, but want a cool really controller, go for it and spend the extra money. Boil down, surfer, definitely go for this. If you're spending most time surfing. If you're not a surfer and you're just satisfied with being in the flat water, this is your controller. All right, guys, I'm done with this. I am, as I mentioned, I'm in Martha's Vineyard right now, and weather sucks right now, but pretty soon I'm gonna bring back the tomorrow. Actually, today's the 3rd. Tomorrow is the 4th of July. So I'm gonna bring back the Captain Flite. I don't know if you've seen it before. 2023. I started using my ghetto look, flying around on my costume. And 2023, 2024, 2025, I'm doing that. And this should be pretty crowded tomorrow. All right, guys, stay tuned. Enjoy your 4th of July, and I'll see you in the water. Be good to each other.